Hello, hello. For the third time today. Yes, we're getting it in. Now I'll be talking to Miss Tina Nelson, and she just popped into the room. All right. What's up, Quan?
What's good? What's good, Chike? I'm sorry. I'm already excited. Chike, how are you, brother?
I am doing wonderful, beyond wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Go ahead and greet the people. Hey, Robert, good to see you, buddy.
Quan, man, you like I feel like I need to send you some money. Like you supporting so strong and so hard. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Hey, Robert, welcome to the room.
Hey, Robert.
So I low key have been looking forward to this one all day,
Oh,
and
really
and,
awesome.
and I've
Same here.
been working today, but I've really been looking forward to this.
Yes.
Mm. Well, I mean, you do this work. Tell them who you are. Introduce yourself.
I'm T. Lee, T. Lee Nelson. I just have to say first, I just want to say I love the Lord and I love people. I love life. I love my husband. I love my family. I love all my friends, all my supporters. I love everybody, and even my enemy. I pray for my enemies as well. So I want to say hello to everybody that's in the building, everybody that will be coming in watching the playback later. I'm so excited to be here with Chike. He is so phenomenal. I am so literally amped to be on this show because I have been inspired by you for the longest. I
Oh,
like I told you before, and I recently told you before that I you gave me the confidence. Although I have confidence and I know I'm okay, but you gave me the confidence to ask Dawn Robinson, my favorite of Invoke. I love Invoke. I am an OG original four members Invoke fan. And when I saw you, when I saw she was giving interviews and I saw your interviews out of like everybody, your interview, and there was one other person that stuck out the most to me
mm,
and your style, your flavor, your vibe, your flow. I was just like, I was so inspired. I said, I said maybe Dawn will be able to maybe I could be able to do a interview with her,
yeah.
and it happened, and it was absolutely phenomenal, and amazing. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome. You're welcome.
Hmm.
And you telling me that just confirms that the path that I'm on is where I need to be because all I ever wanted to do was to inspire people. Because I do this, I come from a place of being a fan. You know,
Right.
you're on here because I'm a fan of what you do. And we're
Oh,
going to get into it. Yeah, I'm a
yeah.
fan of what you do. So I want to share with my people what it is that you do and have them kind of spill over into you and let them see how awesome you are. And I saw
Awesome.
that Serge was in the room. What's up, Serge?
Hey, Serge, what's up? Shouts out to Time Capsule for the culture. Sending you love too.
Well, explain time capsule for the culture since you brought it up. Explain it.
Well, so time capsules of culture. So I, lately I have been feeling like, I've been feeling like there are key people in the universe, in the world, in the entire world right now. There are key people that carry history, phenomenal history in them from the experiences that we've grown up with via entertainment, through education, through political views, through different sectors in society, through the different seven mountains, right? And so all of our experiences that have been encapsulated in us, we are carriers of the different DNA and imprints that kind of solidified a lot of our experiences and make us who we are today.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an idea because a lot of our greats, or a lot of our legends that we grew up listening to, they're getting older, and I'm getting older, and I'm like, whoa, some of the things they've done, I don't want it to get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
want to be. I want to be, and I know there's a group of others like me who want to be able to celebrate, keep their memory alive, keep their thoughts, their quotes, the goodness that they gave, the richness of their authenticity. You know what I'm saying? To their authenticity as an artist, as a poet, as a writer, as an educator, as a political person, as even a mom, just a mom. To one of the things that I'm not a Cardi B. I don't know any of Cardi B's music, right? I mean, I know who she is because the kids love her, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, and I think she has a great personality. But one of the things that she said, I saw yesterday, because I did a small video on her. One of the things that she said that I admire, she said, in a post she did, she said, I'm a mom. She said, if I put out an album right now, I'm going to have to be able to tour and I'm going to have to be able to do this and this. But she's like, come on, guys, like, I'm a mom. And that is phenomenal to me, because there are, she's putting her, I feel like she's wanting to put her children first. Okay, yes, she
Mm-hmm.
has this great opportunity. She is Cardi B. She is amazing at what she does. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock what she does, right? But, and she's like, I have a little money saved up. I'm doing what I do, but I want to be with my kids. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
say to all the moms out there, you are amazing. You are wonderful. Your position, your job in life is to raise those little beautiful ones and those teenagers that may be kind of ornery at times, and which they do kind of reflect some of us older people. They reflect yourself. You're seeing a lot of yourself in your teenagers. Let's remember that. I know you love them, but I want to say to all the moms out there, all the dads out there that's doing it right now, um, you are amazing. You are amazing. Keep on going. Do what you do. Love on your children. Spend time with them, because that time that you have with them, there are seasons that you'll never get back. You
Mm-hmm.
will never get back. So appreciate, value the time that you have with your children. And I don't know why I said that, but yeah.
So real quick before we jump back on you, I want to piggyback on what you just said. So
Okay.
I need some of the people out there that are fans of female artists, whether it
Yeah.
be actors or comedians, anybody that's in the arts that's a female who becomes a mother, and in certain instances, fathers too. In certain
Yeah.
instances, but I have to include
Mhm.
the father too. But most of it is female. When you see them disappear or you see them fall to the back when they have children, please understand and know that they're doing it for the sake of their family. It's no
Yeah.
diss to you. No, they're not canceled or blackballed. It's none of that going on. It's the fact that they want to spend the time to raise their children. And I learned this by my good friend, Miss Faith Evans.
Yes.
Faith is always taking a place of when the children are in need, she steps back from the spotlight and she handles her business. And I've always applauded her for that. And meeting some other females that happen to be mothers that are in the industry, they all are basically doing the same thing. It's not too many that really still get out there and be in the forefront in the spotlight with young children at home. Even if you
Right.
notice Miss
Yes.
Beyonce Rose Carter, she's
Yes.
not out there as much as she used to be
Right.
because she now has a brood at
She
home.
has four. She has four children, right?
I
She
thought
has
it
three
was
or
three.
four, three.
Three.
Yeah, three children. Yes, and they're
Yeah.
babies. So
Yeah.
understandably so. And exactly what you're saying. Like, so, like, as fans, people need to not knock these women. They are actually doing the number one job on the face of the earth. The job that that women are recognized for that, but they truly do not get the recognition globally that they need. And that's one of the things. I just came from Washington D.C. in September. I
Mm-hmm.
was at the Moms Congress, and I was representing the Sisterhood Project Foundation here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a nonprofit program for teenage girls and young women, single women that are pregnant or raising young children. And one of the things, the bills that we fought for was that, women have that time to be able to raise their children, have more time off maternity leave, and have places where they can go in their jobs where they can breastfeed their babies and just have mom and me time even while they're at work. And it's just so much. There's just so much. So mothers, you are amazing. Just keep doing what you do. In the industry and outside of the industry, we commend you. Cardi B, young woman, lady, I commend you. I'm so proud of you for taking that stand, and one day it's going to pay off.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Two things. I saw that. Well, Serge, thank you for that, brother. I appreciate you. And Robert, yes, you saying Janet does it. She does it now, but when Esau was smaller, she didn't. Like
Right.
Janet, you're starting to see from Janet now, but not before. So
Yes,
yeah,
because
I
raising
think
those
all mothers
babies, they
take.
matter.
Yeah, I think all women take that time out, especially when they're babies, like to pull back. And please know, Janet has a lot of help. Please know that.
Oh, yes. Janet has a lot. Janet, yes, she's a map.
Yeah.
She has a lot of help. Yes, indeed.
Um, so
So when it,
we
I'm
kind of
sorry.
jumped around a little bit. I want to go back to you.
Okay.
This is T Lee hour. So T Lee, tell me where you from.
All right. That's a big question. And so, real short, born in Detroit, Michigan, 1973. Motown City baby, born to my father, who is a veteran. At the time, though, he was serving in the military, Air Force, Marines, high level, very intelligent man. Um, met my mother. He met my mother. They got married. They're both from Louisiana. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. My father moved us out to California. Then we moved to Louisiana, and then some horrible things happened in our childhood. I was taken away from my family and placed in foster homes, raised by other people. And then I ran away from Louisiana and I moved myself to Chicago, where my auntie was. And I lived there in Chicago for a little while. I love Chicago. And then I was on a search for my father because I love my father. And I went to California. So I went from Detroit to California to Louisiana to Chicago, back to California. California, the Bay Area, Fresno area, San Joaquin Valley area, San Francisco area, Oakland area, and Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that you dabble in the arts. At what
Okay.
point did you start to learn that you had artistic abilities?
First or second grade, my music teacher,
Okay.
she introduced me to the sound of music. I
Okay.
fell in love with that soundtrack. I fell in love with the music. She played it nonstop. And one day I was singing, I forgot one of the song I was singing. I think it was yeah, it was either the title of the soundtrack, and she turns around and go, Tina, she said, you have a very beautiful voice. And I just lit up. I said, really? She said, yes. She said, one day you're going to sing for a lot of people. And that was a pivotal moment for me because at that time I lived, at that time there was so much trauma in my house. Like I said, my father was Vietnam. He came from out of Vietnam. So he had a lot of things messed up in his mind. So our house was very a house full of pain, a lot of trauma. And I don't blame my father for that. I've since forgiven him. I love my daddy. I forgive him. And but there was a lot of trauma in my family. So when she heard me sing and I realized I had that ability, I started singing louder. Then she was like, okay, baby, just calm down. It's gonna be okay. Then she put me in choir. She
Uh-huh.
put me in choral. And so from first, second grade up until up and even in college, I was in the choir. And I think you said something about music theory
Yeah.
on the show we did before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand a little bit about music theory. Yeah.
Yeah. And so didn't you play an instrument as well, or you play a couple instruments?
No, I play piano. A little bit of
Oh,
piano. No, that's
okay.
third. I don't play piano.
And at
Maybe
what point in your life, what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
no, I play the piano, but I play a little bit. I'm not like a connoisseur in that area. No.
Okay. All right. So at what point did you decide that you wanted to be, in my mind, this is what I call you, and I think I told you this, a town crier, because I believe that you're the person, hear ye, pay attention to this. You all need to know this because this is important. That's who you are to me.
So when did that happen?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I want to say Chicago, but it was Chicago. I was in a program. I was in a gifted kids program at Harper Technical High School. Actually,
Mhm.
it was in the ghetto. I lived on the south side of Chicago and with my auntie. And but I was in a gifted accelerated program, had top-notch teachers there at the school and a great community of black teachers, black principals, black janitors, black teachers, black male, female. And they really encouraged us in the arts. But I remember we got accepted to a program. So I was doing college program, dual college and high school program.
Mhm.
And I was sitting in the library because I used to read encyclopedias and I had all these questions about why the world was the way it was.
Me
And
too.
yes. So when I was younger, I read about the FBI and I read about the mafia. I read about all these different things. And my father, he was educated, so he was the one that taught me how to read. I knew how to read by 3. So my brain was already accelerating. I had all these questions, why was my family where it was? Why do these wars have to happen? And I was in the library and I decided, I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to use the gifts and talents that God gave me. And however you want me to use it, God, if it brings people to a knowledge, because people, the truth pill can be a hard pill to swallow, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's easier to swallow the truth when you make it nice and prepare it through the arts.
Yeah.
And I know there's therapy in the arts. I remember in 5th grade when I saw I saw a Black Dance Theater of Harlem. They came to our school and they danced to Mary Don't You Weep. That
Mm.
song stayed with me, and I needed that at the time as a child. That song stayed with me. The movements, the elegance, the grace, the dance of it all, it stayed with me. And even watching Fame, watching Debbie Allen, and watching Irene Cara, and watching Erica Gimple, just watching their flair and their vibe and all of that, and it was being sealed in me. And so when I began to dance professionally, and the way I carried myself, that was ingrained in me. And so even a lot of times in our messages, we have nonverbal communication, and our nonverbal communication can bring healing to a lot of people. So you're right, I have been for a long time a town crier of many, many. So, if the song is expressing a lot of emotions, drama, pain, tears, or joy or laughter, I allow the Lord to have his way in me, and then let him use me in that way, in those
Mm.
regards,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So it was in
It does.
Chicago at
Okay.
Eastern Illinois State University, where I was actually accepted into a summer program for gifted kids.
Okay.
Yes,
And you smart.
a little bit. Yeah, only because God touched my mind. Because this girl right here, she crazy. I'm crazy, but a good crazy.
So what made you want to start to get into this whole podcast world, to become part of media? What made you want to do that?
Hey Daphne Abdullah, how you doing, sweetie? My What made me want to get into it? Watching your flow and your vibe and your style, and my good buddies, my friends, Tony Rodriguez from Higher Calling. We used to do a lot of work together. Tony and Philip Vinueva, and they kept my friends. They kept telling me and Kiki Green, lovely Kiki Green. I got to give a shout out to her. That is
Hey,
my
Kiki.
girl. Hey Kiki, that is my girl. Now she was the one. She kept telling me, she was like, T, you need to talk, you need to get on here and talk to these people, and let them hear you have a lot of knowledge and things like that. I was like, girl, I don't know, it's been a minute. I don't want to be on camera. I'm getting older. I'm starting to this ain't all. I don't feel the same. Like, she was like, no girl, you need to do it, I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. So it was her, my god brother Tony, and them, and my husband. My husband's like, babe, you need to do something, please do it, you get on my nerves, you need to create. You need to create, you need to do something, use your time, utilize it wisely. And so that's when I started it. And when I thought about time capsules, Kiki, Serge, Kareem Jones, and Shannon, I was like, I think this is a nucleus, this is a group where we could just like really do something. So yeah.
Yeah. And I want to shout out and apologize to the group for me not being around. I've been a little busy, but
Oh, we know that.
I will be
We
back.
know that. Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. Around the age of 8, 9, 10, in your mind as a little girl, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be just like Debbie Allen. And I
That's very
did that.
interesting. That's very interesting because I have this theory that most people around the age 8, 9, 10, when they were thinking, when they were children, what they wanted to be, in their adulthood, they normally fall somewhere around where they want to be or where they wanted to be. Me, I wanted to be a newspaper reporter and I wanted to be a scientist.
Wow.
as you can see, I do podcasts and I
Right.
also work in a hospital. So it's not too
Excellent.
far from being a scientist, but it's
Not
still,
too far.
you know.
Not too far.
And most people that I talk to and I ask them that question, they kind of fall like around that range. And so the part of you being, what was the first thing you said?
Me, when I said I
Yeah.
was crazy.
No, what you wanted to be.
Oh, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be like Debbie Allen. I wanted to produce. I wanted to write. I wanted to direct. I wanted to dance. I wanted to teach others. When she said, "You got big dreams, you want fame," well, fame comes. I wanted to be that one with that stick. And I wanted to have and I've been able, and I'm so grateful. So this season of my life, and I've been able to dance, been able to produce stage shows, and be a part of huge productions and stuff. I'm incognito now. Like I don't, sometimes social media is a great thing, but I think if we would have had social media way back when,
Hmm.
and had the extra exposure, we'd be different people. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm grateful, and I didn't want to go deep in the industry. And I went a little bit in the industry, but not much, whatever. But as far as like in my communities and my surroundings and um, the different projects I was a part of, yes, I was able to do what I wanted to do at 8, 9, 10 years old. Be like Debbie Allen and teach.
And I think that you do an amazing job at what you do. I mean, for example, the time capsules. You pulled us in, you directed us, you got us in a line to be able to deliver a package to the
Awesome.
masses. That's all you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I've been told that I am, and I know that I realize that now. I've been told that I am like a networker of sorts. Like
Hmm.
I can see, like how you can see people that, oh, they have something inside of them. I want to pull it out or have them or give them the platform for it. Right. So
Hmm.
I can kind of see like who kind of works well together. Not all the time, but for the most part, I'm very good at that. Like who works
They
well together.
call
What are
those
we?
people visionaries. You're a
Yes,
visionary. Yeah.
yes, definitely. Who works well together? Who can vibe together? Who can flow? It has to be well rounded and all around. Like so, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
In the world that we work in with this whole podcast thing, even though another show that I work for, the Stephen Knight Show, I've been working on that show for double-digit years. We've been doing that for a while. I still
Wow,
feel like I'm new to this, though. I still feel like I'm new to the whole podcast world. Maybe because I'm still excited about it,
that's
and
yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
good.
so maybe if I'm not excited about it, maybe it'll feel like, oh, I'm doing this again. I don't know.
But it's
But
good to
anyway,
feel excited about it. It
yeah,
really is because it keeps your passion going. That's something that it's almost like how people get stirred up with that nervous energy or being kind of afraid before they go on stage or whatever.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of still good to have that because it keeps you humble, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just you're aware that yeah, you're a vessel being used, and you're a vessel being used, and what
Hey,
great way
Dad.
to be used and to be excited about it at the same time, and it still feel fresh and new.
Yeah. What's up, Debs? I'm glad you joined into the room. I appreciate you.
Hi,
You're
Dad.
so right with that, and I bring that up because and I brought it up briefly when we were uh, on the time capsule the last time that I was with you guys about this world that we're in with podcasters and social media journalists with this nastiness and
Yeah.
snide and backstabby attitude. It's just
Mm,
like it's really treacherous. And then I get into, and I'm a lurker of sorts because I like to not get involved, but I listen to see what's going on. What's
right.
going on in the fray, what's happening out there. And they're really like treacherous. And I don't
Yeah.
understand for the life of me. It's room enough for everyone. Why do we have to chew each other's backs out and try to get people's social media accounts shut down and stuff like why? Why
Why?
would you do stuff like that? And so when you asked me to come aboard and we, made a connection, I'm like, wow, I have to really like not in a sense reward you, but in a sense let you know that I appreciate that, because this is rare. Like, this doesn't really happen. You
Wow.
don't have too many people that are doing social media that will reach out and lend their talents to each other, because they're most of the time they're trying to overtopple each other. And I think that that's sad. It's really
It is,
sad.
it is
And
very sad.
it's room enough for all of us. So
Exactly.
I
It's very sad.
say all that to say I appreciate you, and that's why you're here,
Thank
because I
you.
you did.
I
So
appreciate you too.
thank you. So what are you working on? What's in your brain? What are you
Well,
cooking
let
up
me
over?
let me go back just a little bit to what you just said, because that's a bullet question. That is a bullet statement and a powerful weapon at the same time. Because I'll just say this. I think that Kiki Green, host of Talk is Cheap, I think you and her you need to be on her show, or you need to get her on here. You will definitely have an intense conversation with her. She is phenomenal in that area, and she can break it down to the T. I am I have seen the shallowness and the backbiting and all of that, on YouTube and social media. I
Mm-hmm.
I do not ascribe to strife. I don't like strife. I don't like conflict. I feel like you said, there's room for everybody to do everything. Like, why can't we just all work and just be, grand together? Like, why do you have to step on somebody else's toes in order to feel like you're bigger? And then that goes back down to school days. That goes back down to the playground. A lot of that internally, intentionally, and internally, is something wrong with the person on the inside.
Yeah.
I saw, yes, I saw a YouTuber, a big YouTuber today, that was sharing on Instagram, sharing about somebody's divorce and their all of that. But the way that it was shared, I was like, this is vicious. This is not. It's not edifying. It's not building up. It's actually tearing down. And this is not a good look for us as Black people. It really isn't a good look for us. Just period. So um it's just sad. And the other thing I want to say is I'm kind of in a crossroad too. Hey Kiki, I saw. Hey, anyway, she texted the thing. I just saw that. Hold on, hold on a second. I'm sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I I just experienced something with another YouTuber that's bigger, bigger than me. I have a small following right now, right? So that's bigger than me. She she or he, they took my content, used my content, recreated it, monetized off of it. They have over almost 200,000 people, and I only had at the time like 1,500. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 15, 18. I'm so glad for that. But yay. So they took my content, but there was no credit given to me. And I had just done it 6 days before, and it was kind of blowing up on TikTok. It's my side chick series, my side chick chronicle series. And yeah, so they took my Lionel Richie story, which I did get credit first, because I first seen it on Ty Said What Ty Said, and I was introduced to her by Kiki Green. So, and I love Ty. Ty's great. She's awesome. She's always giving me credit. She's like amazing. So, when I saw the other YouTuber recently take what I did and not give me credit, and then literally use some of my same wording and my same pictures when describing the story, I was like, is this really happened to me? I've been watching Kiki Green go through this for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's frustrating. And then to have it happen to myself, I'm like, whoa. So I'm kind of where I'm at, like, okay, I don't think I want to share my stories like that anymore, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, how much do I keep to myself, and then you bite off me, and then you monetize off of it, and I'm growing in this area, and then I want to be able to one day to pay anybody and everybody that works with me, or we get bread, we make this thing, we do this thing right, we get it together, right? So it's
Right.
like, it's the backbiting, it's the taking from, it's the taking away from smaller content creators, and then they have a bigger audience, and they're lurking. They are lurking and watching smaller content creators and taking from them, and there's like nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And what I do for myself is I tend to be insular. Like I'm here. I kind
Yeah.
of stay here, stay in my own lane. I don't
Yes.
really pull too many resources from the outside unless it's my subject. And it's me and my subject having a conversation. And
Yeah.
it's not even like I don't really even prepare for my interviews. This is just loose talk. And it just turns out the way it turns out. I leave it to the universe for it to develop how it's going to develop.
Right.
But I did notice
Hey,
before I
Keisha. Happy birthday, girl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chike.
happy birthday. I did notice before I moved to this format when I was actually out in the streets with my camera, it got treacherous because other reporters
Right.
or journalists,
Reporters.
yeah, would be on the scene and I could see the treachery. I could see the backstabbiness. I could see, but my motives are different. I'm not in this to get an award. I'm not in this
Right.
for money. I'm not in it for anything else except my own knowledge on things.
Right.
I'm a very inquisitive person and I have questions and I like to have conversations with people. That's what I'm in
Right.
it for. Whatever else comes from that, it comes from that. So, and it's all
Right.
about the intent. So if you're in this and your intent is malice and is foul, you're going to meet that somewhere down the line. That's going to
Oh
that's
yeah,
going to reflect that into you.
definitely. Because people reap what they sow. It's gonna
Yo,
happen. Yeah, they're gonna reap exactly what they sown. And you sow malice, you'll get malice back, and then it'll be malevolent. It'll be atrocious. So I do
hmm
look at it on that respect on those regards. But as far as like you said, just having that intent, what's your intent and what's your motive? And like staying in your lane. I'm the same way. I have to stay in my lane. I don't want to cross into anybody else's. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. Um, and I celebrate, and I even celebrate the areas of me where I fall short at,
hmm
where I'm not the best at. I have to, because either I'm going to grow from that, or I'm going to stay stunted in that. But I need to celebrate all parts of me, the positive parts, the negative parts, because the negative parts, I'm looking to change them constantly,
Yeah,
consistently, all the time. So yeah,
yeah.
it's important.
Yeah, I actually have a thing that I do in the mornings when I wake up before I go to work. I first thing I do is I turn on YouTube and I
Hmm.
start listening to podcasts on YouTube.
Yes.
And some of them, stick with me and some of them don't. But the ones that stick with me and I find informative, I'm writing the names down and I'm subscribing to the channels because I'm
Yes.
creating a list of people that I want to talk to. Because my
Wonderful.
whole much for me, I want to be the flashlight. I want to be the person that pulls another person in and say, hey, everybody, look at this person. This person is dope. Check this person out. And then I move on to the next. Or if you're
Right.
doing something that I get inspired by, I want other people to have the same inspiration or get somewhere in the neighborhood of that inspiration. So I try to like, yeah, look at this. Look what I found.
Right. I'm the same way. I've
Yeah.
always been that way, Chike. I've always been that way. I I want everybody to win.
Yes.
I want everybody to win. And for me, because I sometimes I go internal and I look in, I'm like, because I'm not, anybody can attest and say, like, when they're around me, if we're working together, like, it's a cool, and I'm cool, I'm workable, like, I'm pliable. I will work alongside you. We can walk together, and I'm always pouring into somebody else, and I'm always looking to be poured into myself. So, and I think a lot of that has to come from our childhood. My childhood, I was bullied a lot. I didn't have the best clothes. I was very shy, very quiet, very standoffish, and because I
hmm
was broken, I was in an abusive family and just all kinds of things. So there were moments in my childhood where I said that, and when I got older, I'm not going to treat people the way that they treat me. I don't know, it's something inside of me. And then when I gave my life to God at 19 years old, the love that He put inside of me for people was so great that I said, I didn't want to be evil. I didn't want to be malicious. I don't want to be backbiting. I don't like gossip. I want to be that person that just a light. Really,
hmm
that's my goal in life, is just to be a light and to shine brightly, even if I don't say anything at all. Being
hmm
present or whatever. Yeah, that's my intent, that's my goal, and that's my purpose. That's what I love about life, and I love people. It's so much darkness everywhere. Like Miss
Mhm.
Baker, my music teacher that inspired me as a young girl, she put light in my life during that time. And so I said, and I said, if she did that as a teacher, and that's why I became a teacher. And that's why when the Lord opened up the doors and I began to teach performing arts, my specification, my area of expertise is the arts. I like to say Debbie Allen was my master class teacher. You know what I'm saying? Irene Cara, you know, the Jackson Five. Woo! Time capsule right here. So yeah, yeah.
So what are you cooking up over there in Lee Vision World? What are you cooking up? What's coming up with you? What's going on?
Well, I you know what I want to do? I want to do a live sitcom. I want
Mm,
to do a live webisode sitcom. Um, I want to get like us. I want to get a stage. I want us to just be able to turn the camera on and just flow, improv. Thank you,
mm.
sweetheart. Hey, Totally Tonic. Hey, London's in the house. That's my girl from London. What's up, girl? Oh, she is amazing. Have you interviewed her?
No,
You have to
I
get
don't
this.
even think I know her.
Totally Tonic, oh my gosh, she is phenomenal. She's from the UK, a phenomenal artist, singer. You get Naomi Campbell, you get Tina Turner, you get you get all of that fabulousness in her. She is amazing. She's
Okay,
from the
totally.
UK. She's an artist.
Well, totally, Tonic. Will you please follow me and let me follow up on you and see what's going on? I'm nosy. I'll check you out.
Hey, please excuse me. I'm sorry. I wanted to say hi to everybody. Hey, please excuse me. How are you, love? She said, now stop. Totally Tonic said, stop. She's amazing. You got to check her out. She's amazing. Have her come on. But yeah.
So basically, you want to do a live recording, basically.
I want to do a live recording. I want to do a live recording like how Good Times used to be.
Yes.
How when we used to watch Good Times and the Jeffersons and all of that. But I wanted like with you, like I would love, like for me it would be awesome to see all of us together in different, I don't know, I just you guys and then some other people I know and just get fresh new talent out there. You know, I want to that's what I want to do. That I want to do something live, like live, funny, hilarious, with a thought-provoking message and with
So
music in it, huh?
it sounds to me like you might need to find a playhouse and loosely write a play. That's what it
Yeah.
sounds to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'd be the first one in line for the casting.
Yay!
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Now I would like so I would like to do that, and then I would like to incorporate multimedia footage in there. So we would like to see Chike riding a horse. I think African American men that are able to ride horses and to be out in nature and stuff like that, that's phenomenal. We need to see
Yeah,
more of that.
yeah. I just had a guest on earlier, Mr. Tim Perez. He's an actor. He's a pilot. He's a stuntman. He
Awesome.
actually owns a farm in Georgia. And so we were loosely talking, but I told him, I said, next time I come down here to Georgia, I want to come on the farm because I haven't actually ridden in a while and I miss it. I used to go horseback riding with my dad all the time. And I've
Awesome.
had, when I was in college, I used to actually go because I met this girl and they had a horse farm and they used to
Really?
beg me to come out and ride the horses to give them exercise because they didn't get ran and stuff. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be there every weekend. Saturday morning, I'm there on the horse. But yeah, that's
Awesome.
one of my favorite things to do is ride horse. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, third.
Hey, that's what they, yeah. I've been told that, Serge, a lot. Did anybody say anything? Totally Tonic. Okay, yes. Subscribe to him, Totally Tonic. Please subscribe to him. He needs to get you on. And she's in London, so your time might be a little different with her.
We'll work it out. We'll
Yeah,
work it
you
out.
can work it out. Yeah.
So, who are some of your inspirations? Who actually gives you inspiration and helps you um, be T. Lee?
I have to say God, Jesus Christ, my Lord and
Mhm.
Savior, Jesus Christ. He's my first. He's the one that anoints my mind, twinkles it, tweaks it the way that I think. And
Mhm.
I love the Lord. So yeah, he's my spiritual inspiration. My other
Mhm.
inspiration, like I said, used to be it still is Debbie Allen. Um, my students, life itself, the uh the different things that people go through in life, that gives me inspiration. I
Yeah.
just I just had a talk with a young lady yesterday, and we were talking about some things, and just even when she was sharing me her story, her background, the different the different ups and downs she's had, and she's only 16. And I was
Mhm.
so inspired by it, and I was just like, I was inspired by that. That gave me inspiration to want to write, create, do something just from out of her experience. Just from out of her experience, you could write a whole series on it.
Wow.
I think out of every person, there are multitudes of Hi Love Link Entertainment. Hi, sweetie. She's from Chicago. You got to interview her too. She's amazing. There are a multitude of people that have volumes of life experiences that is a work of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tapestry. It's a tapestry. It's a work of art. And we're walking epistles like we talked about before on time capsules. We
Mhm.
are, we are authentic in who we are. We are who we are. And those experiences inspire us internally. So I have to say that other people's experiences inspire me. My own experiences inspire me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I believe in putting things out into the universe because if you put them out with intention and power, they come back to you.
Yes.
Give me some of your dream guests or guests that you wish that you could have as a subject to talk to them.
Dream guest. So I'm more. I am. My dream guest would be. I've seen her though. I did almost meet Sheila E. So I love Sheila E. And people be complimenting me sometimes. Like I'll do skits or whatever I've done on TikTok. They'll be like, "Girl, you look like Sheila E." I'll be like, "That little girl in me." I used to love Sheila E when I was little. And I seen her in LA before. So I don't get excited off celebrities, right? So let's just get that out there, right? I mean, celebrities are people. But there are actually three people that I did get excited. One was when I saw Sheila E. She was at a church that I was attending, and I didn't go up to her. I was just like, "Oh my God, that's Sheila E. Oh my God, she don't know how much I love her." I was just this little girl inside, right? And then the other person was actually Jamie Foxx. I got excited. This is way before Jamie became Jamie. I saw him at the
Mhm.
Grammys. I was working the Grammys in 2000 or 2001. It was a year when they did Lady Marmalade. I was working in the green room in the back and doing production in the back. And that year, Jamie, because I always saw Jamie where he eventually got to. When I
Mhm.
saw him on Living, to me, when I saw him on Living Color as a young college high school girl and a young college girl, when I saw him, I was like, this dude is like phenomenal. Like I seen already where I already saw that he was gonna be where he's at now. But that was way back then. So then when I saw him at the Grammys, I said, "Hey Jamie," he was like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And I was just like, "Jamie, you are so cool, blah blah blah." But I was like, and we didn't get a chance to talk much. He was like, "Girl, I'll talk to you. I'll see you later." Woo woo woo. And I didn't get a chance to talk to him like I wanted to talk to him. And because I wanted to tell him, bruh, keep doing what you're doing. You about to explode, blah blah blah. And he literally, like after that, like literally exploded. So I was excited when I met him because I saw where he was going, and I appreciated his nuances. I appreciated his gift, the comedy, the drama in him. I appreciated the singing, the music. I think he's an artist that, as far as his musical talent, he's been very underrated. Like I think he's just like, even though Jamie got hits, whatever, but I think he's been like, I mean, Jamie's just awesome.
Yeah.
So I was excited when I met him. And then, believe it or not, I was excited when I met Gloria Estefan.
Mm.
that was like royalty to me.
Yeah.
Meeting, seeing, that was like royalty when she walked in, when she because actually I was assigned to Alejandra something. This is at the Latin Grammys, but she that year she had boycotted the Latin Grammys, but she did go to the Grammys that year. So because I wanted to meet her at the Latin Grammys, but she boycotted it, and then but she did come to the regular Grammys, and so I was just because I just wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to like just sit and just bask and just get knowledge from her.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like, you know, Beyonce is Beyonce, Destiny's Child is Destiny's Child. There's other celebrities that I didn't know at the time that I'm working. I don't know much about them. Um, I'm excited for them, but it wasn't the same for me. Like when Sheila E. or, you know, the likes of Jamie Foxx for me as and Gloria Estefan. So
Yeah.
I would say Sheila E. Sheila
Okay.
E. So Sheila, if you're watching it, and for me, Debbie Allen. I love Debbie Allen.
Yeah, that would be a great interview. Her or her
Yeah.
sister, the or both of
Yes.
them. Yeah, that would
Yes.
be an awesome interview. When
Hey, listening experience.
I was talking to B Slade last night, and
Yes.
Melba Moore came into the live while we
Wow.
were, and
Awesome.
I,
Oh,
I was like, what? I was like, is that Melba Moore in here? Is that? And he was like, yeah, that's really him. So I was like, Melba Moore, please, I need you to let me interview you, please, please, please. And she followed me, and we've been inboxing. So
awesome.
hopefully, that'll
She
happen.
she's amazing. Sir, Melvin Moore, we love you. She is so amazing. Sir So Soup, he says Patti LaBelle. Yes,
Yeah.
Serge Patti LaBelle. I had an experience with her. Patti LaBelle. I would love to interview her too. These there's oh my gosh. So I met her at the Grammys that same year. And when I tell you this woman was the absolute quintessential queen.
Yes.
Amazing.
So
Phenomenal.
I've
Just
actually
how
been to
she
her house.
is. You what?
Yeah, I've been to her house.
Oh
I've
wow.
actually eaten some Patti LaBelle food. This
That's
was many,
awesome.
many, many, many years ago, and she is everything that everybody says that she is. She's all.
She is. She is all of that. And when I say classy, she's that I was floored to be able to she was like, and she said, and baby girl, who are you? I was just like, oh, she called me baby girl. I love me some Patti LaBelle. She is just so amazing, so loving, so kind. With her
Yeah.
dripping with her diamonds, dripping with her gown on the red carpet, she was talking to me like I was like her best grandbaby from the from that she known me for years and years. Just a wonderful woman.
And so
Wonderful.
real, like so real and down to
Just
earth,
so real.
down to earth. And now that I'm thinking about it, like before I even began to do any of this, like I had a thing where I was really trying to be in the arts any way that I could, any way that I
Yeah.
could fit in, because I was very artistic in nature. I first
Right.
started out being a dancer, um, and during that time, I found myself in the company of a lot of people. And making those moves and traveling to those venues, it put me in the trajectory of certain artists. So
Yeah.
at a young age, I think I was like maybe 20 or 21. I met
Hmm.
Jimmy Terry Lewis, Phyllis Hyman, Layla Hathaway,
Wow.
and be like it was a lot going on. I just didn't have the wherewithal to make that turn into something. I was
Right.
just absorbing everything that was around me, and it just so happens like years later, trying my hand at acting, and I already felt like at the age of 35, I felt like I was old. I felt like I was
Yeah.
too late getting started.
That was a
And
lie.
yeah, well, yeah and no.
Yeah and no. Yes.
So I'm at this. I'll tell you this story real quick, and I'll tell you the trajectory in which I got here, because that's part of the reason why I do what I do, and I try to, I guess, minister to other
Hmm.
people
Right.
because I felt a certain way about myself. So I'm 35, right? I'm sitting in this talent office, and I had to do a cold read. They liked, what I had to present, and the lady's looking at me, and she says, how old are you? And I told her I was 35. She said, you don't look 35. She said, but I have one question to ask you. She said, why did you wait so long? And that was the big
Mm.
on my mind. Like I already
Right.
felt like I took too long. I already felt that way. And when she said it, I was like, in my head, I was like, damn, there it
Dang.
is. So then I had an opportunity to do a podcast, right?
Right.
So I jumped on it. But when I jumped on it, I mean, I jumped on it with like all 9 legs, like legs, toes, fingers, teeth,
Right.
like hanging on to it. And I'm riding it hard because I feel like I wasted time. And
Right.
then to see things coming into place, they were just falling.
Wow.
Like the bricks were just laying themselves in the path. I was able to get, well, in the long run, I was able to get, what was it, 5 films?
Wow.
Remember, I wanted to be an actor at
Yes.
35, and I was told, well, not told, but I was asked what took me so long. So now that I do this podcasting thing, which seems like it's my lane and it's working for me, everything else that I ever wanted just started falling into
Wow.
place.
That
So I say all that to say, if anyone's listening and you're having uh, uh, an inkling that you want to do something, it's never too late. You're never too old.
that's right.
Just when you do it with passion and
Yeah.
aggression and ride it out.
Write it
Because
out.
for you is going to be for you. And it may not happen the way that you think it's going to happen, but it will happen.
I
That's all.
received that.
I'm not preaching no more. I'm done. But yeah,
I
that's that.
received that. Yes,
Yeah.
that is awesome. Yes. I received that. Like you went forward, you went Gus forward because that stuck to you. Why did you wait so long? You were already
Mhm,
dealing with that in the first place. So then when the opportunity came, whatever that artistic creativity in you, it had to come
mhm.
out. And so yeah, that hi
And so,
Crystal Taylor. Hey sweetie.
and
Hmm.
even like when it comes to like people are asking me, well, how did you get this guest on the show, or how are you in alignment with this person? I just ask, like, what do I have to lose?
Right,
No isn't going to kill me,
right.
but yes, it's going to make me elated. And I have no shame. I'm in the DMs like that.
Okay, yeah,
You would
okay.
like talk to me? I would love to talk to you. You can either say yes or you can say no.
So right. Oh, so I'm gonna tag her in this, but I love me some Bernadette Cooper. Hey, from Climax. I look forward to interviewing her. Yes. Um uh Bernadette Cooper from Climax, Morris Day, Sheila
Mhm.
E, as you can tell my background. So those people I love to I would love to sit down with and just pick their brain, pick their minds, and just
Yeah, yeah.
conversate with them. Shaka Khan is another one. Oh, that would be for me. I didn't. So, yeah, I would love to conversate with Shaka Khan. I just feel
You
like she's royalty.
one of the most amazing things that I that was like fruit for me in doing this is walking into a room, especially a room that intimidates me a little bit,
Yes.
and I'm greeted with warmness by people that I'm looking up to, right? They're
Right.
not supposed to know me, but they know me. And they
Wow.
greet me by name. And it's like, oh, like, you know who I am? Like, okay, Lord, this magic is working.
Thank
Please
you,
let me.
Jesus.
Like, I'm so thankful. That's the way I feel. So, yeah.
That's a blessing, Chike.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's all working together for your good. Everything in
Mhm,
your life, who you are, all of your experiences, everything that's encapsulated inside of you, it's all working for your good. And like you
mhm,
said, like the universe will pull at you and it will send things to you. The world, I mean,
mhm.
the gifts and the blessings that God's have for you will come full force. And it has to come out.
It does. And you have to be a vessel, and it has to be free flowing. It has to come in and it has to come out.
Come out.
You can't take and take and take and take. You have to give back as well. You have to, like,
Right.
my kids, I like shining light on people. That's me giving back. I think you're awesome. I think the world needs to know who you are. I feel like personally, Dish Nation, they don't need to have Dish Nation. They need to have us on there because it would be a totally
Right.
different show. Because I
Right.
think what you do is amazing. I really do. And
Wait,
and
I
and
thought you were just talking in general. I was looking at what Truth Tonic said, but yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Likewise, I feel like what you
yeah.
have is amazing too. Totally Tonic, she said, truth. Never be, she was responding to you, she said, never be afraid of the word no. It's
That's
what
right.
you give off. Amen. That's what she said. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Never be afraid of the word no.
No, and I'll tell you this: there have been certain people that I've reached out to, like I shared last night. Um, I reached out to B Slade a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would say maybe 6 to 7 years ago,
Wow.
and he was very like standoffish, very like, what are we going to talk about? And one thing that I don't really care for when someone tells me or they ask me, well, send me a list of the questions. I don't have a list of questions. We don't. This is
You
Lee's
don't do
conversation.
that.
If you have something to hide or if you have something that you don't want to talk about, then maybe we shouldn't talk.
Right.
That's how I feel. Then I don't
Right.
want to talk. I'm not about sensationalism. I'm not about dirt. I'm not. If it happens to go there, because I've gotten some dirt from some people, but it's
Yes.
because they told me. It's not because I asked.
Right.
So when during that time, I just pulled back from the interview. I was like, okay, we're not going to do this, and I shared that with him last night. If you ever watch it, you'll see me confront him. I'm like, I just have to say this. You know, last time that we talked, you did this and I did that, and it just didn't work out. But it was meant to be now.
Right. That's
And
good.
I explained to him because he was going through some periods at a time, and I understood
Hmm.
that. So your career and what you were going through was sensitive to you. I understood that, and I backed off.
Right.
Eventually we were going to cross paths again. And I say that to say people that say no, at some point in time I do run into them.
Mm.
And then it's like, hey, such and such, and I've always wanted to interview. Well, why didn't you reach out? Oh, but I did.
Bet you
And you
did.
told me no.
No.
Well, what? You should have, and you should have. Let's not deal with that. We're gonna deal with what's here now. But I
Right.
did. Can't say that I didn't when I did. So
Right.
yeah, and have a stick to itiveness. Never give up. Never give
Right.
up.
I believe
Perseverance.
that. Yes.
Yeah, perseverance is key.
Very
Um,
key.
and and since I've known you, this is the second time that you brought up Bernadette Cooper. I think that that's going to happen for you. I feel
Yeah.
it's going to happen for you.
I received that. I received that.
Yeah.
She's awesome. I don't think Climax they've gotten their recognition for their time, but I don't think they got the full recognition. Like, and I feel like that they were cut off before they could even just whatever. So
Mm,
I think they need to have a movie. I think she needs to be the producer of well, I think all the people that need to get that movie done and situated for her, and for her to tell it from her side, and get all the members in there to tell it from their side. I mean, together, collectively working together to get that story out, because what she did was phenomenal. How did this young lady has such a vision, when this woman has had such a vision for that group. She actually, if you look at her, she's a maverick. She was an entrepreneur before entrepreneurship, before entrepreneur. That's how much I look at her, because she literally created she literally created lanes for these other women to eat and live off of now in their older age.
mm,
Not
mm,
on, not just for her band, but as she's done other projects and things like that with her producing and writing and doing several other projects with other people. But we have to consider that what Bernadette Cooper did for Climax, for all of those women that got the opportunity to be able to use their gifts and for them to be seen internationally wide, and still to this day to be able to eat off of the name Climax
mm-hmm,
because of a
mm,
vision that Bernadette Cooper had.
yeah.
That's phenomenal to me. And I want her to get all of her flowers and recognition. I know she's touring, she's on and off touring and whatever, and she's doing a great job with her band. And I love how she talks about how all the girls, it's not that she said all the girls have different visions of what their vision of Climax is,
Mm,
and she's not mad, she's not upset, what I'm saying? And there's been some things going on with court back and forth here and there, whatever. And there's some things that, as far as them not being inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame or whatever, like, I know that they're working on right now, but I mean, not working on, but I know there's been some shadiness that's been going on with that. I don't like I don't like to see people take credit for something that you did not build,
yeah.
something that you did not originally do. So I hate to see that. Hey,
Hey,
Devontae. Sorry. Hey, Devontae.
that's all good. Hey,
Hey,
I have to
Devontae.
actually get Devontae in here at some point too. He's another person that has lived. He's a young legend in his own right.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you, young legend Devontae. But yeah, I don't I you know, you watch and see how people move and how they are. Like so, there was one of the other band members that did some stuff and all of that or whatever. She's very Bernadette has been a very classy lady when she explains all of it. I really love her. I love her
yeah.
spirit.
And I co-sign what you say about people reaping the benefits off something that they did not help create.
Right. That part.
Starting to see a lot more of that
Yes.
in the industry. A lot more of that, and I think it's a sin. I think it's a sin and it's a shame.
It is.
Uh,
It is.
Especially like we talk about groups like In Vogue. We talk about that all the
Yeah.
time. And it's a touchy kind of subject because we get heated when we talk
We
about this
get
stuff.
heated when we talk about the original four.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know when it comes to like the recognition of things and things being stamped and you know in memorandum of whatever and plaques and stars and
Yeah.
hands. When you start doing stuff like that to make it you know eternal or
Yes.
allegedly internal in the eyes of history, then I think it needs to be the people that created it. It has to be the people that forged it together and made it what it is, not
Yes.
who it going in existence for cash or
Exactly.
keep the name alive. Not that, but who forged it, who built it,
Yes.
and who brought it to where it is to the point of recognition.
Exactly. I'm the same way. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah,
I think for instance, as far as like In Vogue, like I think that those red dresses being inducted, and I think it was a crying shame that Dawn and Maxine were not there. And shouts out to Maxine Jones, her new album. I'm so proud of her. I'm proud of Maxine Jones. I love you, boo. I am excited about Dawn Robinson and all of the projects that she has going for her life. She's amazing. I love her. That's like my big sister.
doing it.
And I love Sin and Cindy and Terry. I love them all. And it's just, it really is. It really should be the original ones that get the flowers for the eternal accolades, the
Yeah,
eternal accolades that was built off the foundation from Cindy, Terry, Maxine, and Dwan. Like
yeah.
outside of that, it's like whatever.
Because honestly, like when you think about the Supremes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think about Mary, Diana, Florence. That's who
Florence.
you think about.
Yes.
The other ones, you don't think about them so much.
No.
So much.
No. Not
Thank
too
you for
much.
your service, but I don't think about you as much.
No. Not as important. I want the four harmonies. I want the original. I want the three harmonies. I want the original Supremes. I want
Mhm.
the original emotions. All of them
Mm,
girls can sing. All the sisters can sing. You know what I'm saying? One and ten. I want that original sound. I don't
yeah,
want bootleg version. I don't want karaoke version like Serge, that part, Serge. Like Serge says. And Devontae, I see you, boo. We see you, boo. Thank you, Devontae. We don't want jankiness. We don't want $4 in the closet, style closet, you know what I'm saying? Rainbow at the no. We want high quality, high class. We want our original girls. I'm
yeah.
sorry, we get heated about In Vogue.
But why do I hear Serge over here? I hear him.
Can he come in? Can Serge come in? I'm sorry, no, it's between us. I'm sorry. I'm trying to bite him in. I'm
I
sorry,
know.
TK.
It'll get real. Oh, Kiki, how you doing? Thank you for
Hey,
coming in.
Kiki, love you, boo. I've been talking about you. This is lovely Kiki Green. She's in the building, host of Talking Cheap. Y'all need to subscribe to her YouTube channel, subscribe to her Patreon. She's amazing.
Yeah.
We love you too, Serge. Yeah. But yes, so it's the original. It's the original. Yeah. So don't try
So
to bite off and eat off of the original. Like,
now I'm just gonna start shooting stuff out because
okay.
we've talked about us, right?
Yes.
And I guess I have to throw out some questions so people can see uh, you and your element, right? Or
Okay.
what it is that you do. So, latest thing, the hot press today. Um, R. Kelly dropped an album called "I Admit It."
I
You
admit
heard?
it. Okay. He admit.
What?
What does he admit? What is he talking about? What did he admit?
I don't know. I haven't heard a lick. I haven't heard a note. I don't know what he's singing about. But the fact that an album was dropped from the
Hey,
clink.
Mr. Rose. I'm sorry. What?
I said the fact that an album was dropped from the clink because he is still incarcerated. So he
Right.
dropped the album. So now I read some reports where he's saying that he didn't drop the album. He didn't
Mm.
know where it came from.
He doesn't know where it came from.
He doesn't know where it came from. So I want your thoughts. That's why I put it out there. I want you to talk about that.
Wait, what Kiki say? Hold on. You know she had to say something. He said he didn't drop the album and somebody else is getting paid off of him. That's well, Kiki. That sounds like what they doing off of you.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I think is if how did they drop the album when blah blah blah? It sounds like she said it sounds like him though. And Serge said Jesus fixes. Yes, he gonna fix it. But if they dropped the album, like was it did they drop it from him singing and while he was locked up? Or did they because you know they I know they can make tapes up somehow they do it. They did it before. I mean,
Yeah.
folks have dropped,
I think
you
there was
know,
a rapper one time that made an album while he was in jail. He did it over the phone. Like when he had phone time, he made
okay,
it over the phone, allegedly.
allegedly.
Allegedly. But
I don't know. He said he ain't do
what
it. She said it sounded very produced, and I don't know. I don't know. Our
so I do know what artists like him, like himself, um, who's very prolific. I would imagine.
I'm sorry. She said I don't hear any soap dropping in the background.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chike. So what were you
I
saying? I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say because of how prolific he is,
Yes.
I would imagine that he probably has like music in vaults, like because
Oh, that was gonna say that. Yeah.
that's the kind of artist that he is. So I would imagine
Yes.
that he just sitting around, and if somebody got a hold of it, I could see them putting together, having the smart idea. Let's put this together and make this album and get paid real quick.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. Well, I was thinking that too. As you know, I'm because Michael Jackson had what? How many songs Michael Jackson had in the vault? Like 1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince had what? 500 something, close to like 900 in the vault. Of course, R. Kelly. You know, he was always singing. He was always looking for that hit. That's what
But
initially I was thinking.
how do you do that the release of that though without him and call it a R. Kelly? Well, you
If
know what?
our
You know
but
what?
see,
Let
but the
me
way
answer my
my
question.
mind think, and if they was already tampering with his money, and the way the way my mind think, okay, so we're gonna go into my world. My mind would think like, bruh, like listen, we finna get this money. I'm gonna say I didn't do it, but I'm gonna need you to go in my vault, and I'm gonna need you to get my producers, and I'm gonna need for it to sound good because I need to get paid. But I want
So
everybody to think that I had nothing to do with it.
I hear that, but I think that he's kind of not with it for real because
Okay.
he let them take his money. And I want to argue the fact that he may not even own his own name at this point.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't.
So I'm thinking it would be real easy for somebody else to do that to him. I think it
Yeah.
could be something that's done to him. Or,
And then what is he able to do about it? Can he hire a lawyer now? Can he pay for that?
well, allegedly he's broke, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Not
Like he's supposedly
not unless
broke.
some of them fans that were putting the dollars in the panties and sending them up to
Right.
him would you know what I'm saying,
Ugh.
the ones that still love him.
Right. Well, Charlie Manson had his lovers too sending him money. So yeah, you know they're gonna
Yeah.
send R. Kelly some. Right.
All right, I'm exhausted off Mr. R. Kelly. So can we move over to that other man,
What is the
uh,
man?
uh, Mr. West? I'll call him that.
Okay. My thoughts on Kanye West.
Yes.
I believe. Okay, my brain is different. Kanye West is a. When somebody tell you who they are, believe them. He's shown
Mm,
us many, many, many different ways, many abstract thoughts, many different versions of himself.
mm-hmm,
That is him and then some. I believe he's a multiple mind control puppet. I
mm-hmm,
believe that he is a vice in the hands of the powers that be, and um, I believe he knows exactly what he's doing.
mm,
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's playing all sides, and he's doing it very well. But
mm,
people like me, people like some of these people that's in the chat, we see right through him.
mm,
We see right through him. He has, and the other thing is that the people that work with him and or with him, they lurk on my homegirl Kiki Green's platform. There's
mm-hmm,
some things that she has specifically said, and this is where I've studied because I've studied and watch and I listen, and there's some things that she has said on her platform. Kiki Green, lovely Kiki Green, host of Talk Is Cheap, that she said on her platform over and over again, that word for word, that Mr. West has said word for word when he was having cognitive, quote unquote, intellectual conversations.
mm,
So yeah, so no, the authentic, the authentic person that he was years ago, he's not that way now. I believe he's compartmentalized. I believe he's bought and sold, and I don't. Mm-mm. Bar for bar, Kiki said bar for bar. Yeah, I personally believe that he's bought and sold, and he's a puppet. And I think it's a shame that all of these people who to claim to be Christians and were following the way that they followed him.
mm.
I think why and the whole just the whole it's just a whole plethora of mess. Yeah, my heart goes out for those little girls, his daughters. I
Yeah.
know he loves his children. I my heart goes out to those little babies. Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said about the little girls. I feel for them, um, on having him as a parent and their mother as a mother,
Yes.
um, with the sense of them growing up and they are black little girls, and regardless of what kind of spoon they have in their mouth, right? I think that they're not going to be in touch with the fact that they are black little
That they're
girls.
black. Right.
And I think that there's going to come a time of reckoning that they're going to have to deal with that, and it's going to be traumatic. And
Very.
I feel for that because they're not going to have that the mechanism or the village that pours into them to help protect them or keep them safe from that.
Right.
Whatever happens is going to happen, and they're going to be traumatized from it. I just
Right.
feel that.
I feel that for them too.
Yeah.
And they do have a white mother. I mean, she is a white mother, and she's the way that they're raised. Like you said, they're raised apart from the culture, and because his mom is not here, and he don't have sisters and aunties and that 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 earthiness, that melanin love, that black culture to get around
Yeah.
and wrap them around. Like for instance, Janet with, and I have my opinion about if Michael Jackson them kids, but his kids, but when that little girl, when Paris got out of line, allegedly it was reported. We all remember it was reported that uh Paris got slapped across the face. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Janet wasn't no joke. It was fights going all up in the house. Janet put that little girl in her place. We don't play. Our
Mm-hmm.
culture, we don't play. You don't disrespect the grandma. You don't disrespect the mama. You ain't finna come up here and talking crazy. And I don't care if you are mixed heritage. Yes, you are black and yes, you are white. But listen here. We're not doing that because we don't do that as black people. I'm going to remind you that you have this part of you inside of you, and that, well, yeah, I'm going to remind you that it doesn't matter if you're mixed. I'm going to pull you back in and let you know you
Mm-hmm.
can't come off disrespecting. So, like
Yeah.
you said, so when as those girls grow up, and they're going to have their wake up call. Meghan Markle had her wake up call. It
Mm.
really, you can see, we can clearly see that she identifies more with the other side. And that's for her. That's incredible. That's great for her.
Mm-hmm.
But yet in a lot of people's mind, especially on the other side with other races, you is still, can I say it, a Negro.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say nigga, but you a
I know.
Negro.
I know.
It doesn't matter the way that they see you, you are still that to them.
Mm-hmm.
The wake up calls, they come.
I've seen instances where it's all rainbows and gumdrops until, there has to be a decision made. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can ride it out. Sometimes you
For a
can get
long
almost to
time.
the very end. You can get almost to the very end. And then they're like, oh, well, now, wait a minute now. Hold on.
Hold on.
Not,
Not
not
you.
you.
You
Not
got
you.
2%. You got 1%. You got a little bit. Yeah. No, not you.
Yeah, and I had watched the part of the documentary series on Netflix, and
Hey,
the part
Keisha.
the part where she said that she didn't realize or she didn't have any of that until she went to the UK. Well, technically speaking, you were dealing with commoners. So the fact that you were black or white really didn't matter because you were a celebrity. You got
Mm,
over because you were a celebrity. Everyone was rallying around you because you were a celebrity. You
right.
you you actually you were privileged over the privilege in
Mm,
America.
in America.
So it was all sweet and good, and you were living in Canada. You didn't live here. You were living in Canada. And then you went over there with the Monarchs. That's a
Mm,
whole other ball game. That's a whole different. They look down on their others.
right. On
They're
that.
above the privilege. So did you really think your blackness was going to stand up and hold up?
Hold
You
up.
common. You common.
You
They don't care about
coming.
you being an actress.
They don't care. They can figure out much.
No. Yes, you did. Don't get me banned.
That's what I asked. I'm sorry, Megan. You are not much. It's just the way society at times, yeah.
So it's certain conversations need to be had. I think that certain conversations need to be had, and I think that
Yeah.
sometimes certain conversations need to be had the way they need to be had, because when you talk above people, they can't receive it because they don't know your language. They don't know what you're speaking.
Right.
You speaking French. I'm not hearing that. But when you talk on people's level and they can
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, they get it. They can
They
receive
get
it.
it. Right.
So, um, yeah, it's a real thing. I feel bad for the little girls. I
I
feel
do.
bad that Meghan Markle had to go through what she had to go
Yeah.
through. But now she needs to be more conscious about those babies. She needs to
Yes.
be more conscious about what her kids are going to go through. And they're already kind of living it now that, Prince Harry's been kind of kicked out.
Right. They're being
What's
also
next?
they're right. They're going through the caste system within their little family right now. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
the effects are definitely there. You can see it. You definitely can see it.
And I guess one of the other people that I want to bring up, because I haven't had an opportunity to talk about him, and I need for the world to know and understand about Mr. Werewolf or Vampire Herschel Walker. Um, Me as a black man in this country, or any country on this planet, I should say, he is a freaking embarrassment.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Come on.
Okay.
I'm sitting here like I'm gonna be professional.
It's okay
I
because
feel
he's
you.
laughable. He's laughable.
It.
So,
Okay, I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
so I'm just gonna say this. Not that my rearing was the end all be all. I'm not the quintessential black man. Um, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. None of that. I'm a little nappy head boy from Camden, New Jersey, which was labeled one of the worst cities in the nation
Yes.
more than
Camden.
a few times. Okay,
Yes.
that's where I'm from. That's my background. I'm hood, but I
Right.
don't consider myself as hood.
No, you
But I'm
don't.
hood. However, that man with his Heisman Trophy, winning, NFL playing, money is an embarrassment to me
Embarrassment.
as a black man and
As a
other
black
black
man.
men that I know. You are Tom Coon buffoonery, uh, whatever else, monkey with the drums. You know, what's the little thing you chime
Organ
it up?
grinders monkey.
Yes,
Organ grinders monkey.
yes, that's it. And don't nobody at me. I'm not calling that man a monkey, but he has
Right.
the behavior of those symbolic things.
Yes.
Those things that we try to get rid of over the history of time when it relates to us and our people and the black man.
Right.
Hmm.
Mm. An embarrassment.
You're a liar. You're a
Yeah.
cheat. A con artist, even because you were telling
Yeah.
people that you were a cop and you're not, and you carrying around a fake badge. Only con artists do that.
Mm.
I was raised with when you leave the house, you leave with your head held high. You have dignity. You look people in the eye. You shake their
Right.
hand, and you are the best representation of yourself that you can be outside of these walls. In here, you can cut a little bit loose. You can be a little bit
Yeah.
more the walls of your own home. But when you're outside of your home, and it's sad to say, it's not sad to say, it's a fact. It's not sad. I've grown up on it. And most
Right.
black people know what I'm talking about. When we're out in the world, we're not just representing, I'm not just representing me, I'm representing all of us. Because how it works, if one does something, all of them will do something. How many times have you watched the news and heard a story and said to yourself, oh, please don't let them have been black.
Please don't let them
Please.
be black. Please don't let them be
That's
black.
the
Don't make us look
representation
bad.
on the rest of us. That's how we think.
That right.
So
Collectively.
for this man to ascend, to be able to stand in that space, to claim that type of position, and to be a buffoon the way he was a buffoon, it was an embarrassment.
I 100% agree.
I'm going to
And
stop. I'm going to let you go.
well, again, I'm not. Well, let me go back to what lovely Kiki
Hey,
Green.
Slipknot,
She's a
girl.
Republican, and hey, Slipknot. Hey, Slipknot. And there was another young IRL Forever. Hi, welcome. And Love Link, yes, very embarrassing. Lovely Kiki Green says I'm a Republican, and I don't like him either. She's one. She don't like him either. Um, I'm not. Politics, it is what it is. I've seen it for what it was. Not it is what it is. But is an absolute embarrassment to us as a people, for me. The way that he presented himself, the way he talked, everything you said, all the elements, it was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. And it was to the point to where most black men on TV are embarrassing. Keisha Renee does bring up a point. And it shouldn't be that way. We have
And I understand
TK
what
here.
she's saying. I understand
Yeah.
what she's saying because it could go either way.
Either
You
way,
can
right.
you can be a sellout embarrassment, or you can
Right.
be embarrassment of the other kind.
Yeah.
You know that word that you was trying to say earlier but didn't say. Them.
Right. Them. Right. So he's an embarrassment. And so we're currently living here in Atlanta right now. And I am a Facebook. I'm not a Facebook. I'm not a Facebook. Well, I'm a better Facebooker than I am an IG person. But I am a YouTube person. When YouTube first came out, I was always researching on YouTube. So I've been a YouTube person for a long time. That's person for a long time. So when my timeline and my podcasts and my different things that I watch on there that I control, that I want to be privy to, information that I want to glean off of and grow and, be inspired by. When I'm interrupted, when I hear his voice, when Herschel Walker, every 5 minutes they want to put his commercial into I am offended. Because one, you sound like a buffoon. Two, you sound uneducated. And three, where did y'all pull this man out? What type of bag did y'all pull him out of? And this is a disgrace. That whole thing was a disgrace I'm sorry, to the human race, us, our race. And to see, this is where that whole comment where the original Dave Chappelle, when he said, when I saw that they were laughing, it's one thing to laugh with me, but when you're laughing at me, it's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I saw that the other minorities, not minorities, when I saw the other color riding and pushing him like he's the greatest thing that hit the Republican um tract or whatever, the Republican Party, whatever. No, sir, no, ma'am, because there are more. You're one of them, Chike. Serge, a lot of the men that watch this, the people, my husband is a very intelligent. All of these black men that I know pastors and other men that I've grown up with, or and men that are older, whatever, that are way more intelligent, way more thought-provoking, can bring more change than this man can. He really has, to me, brought down
Mm-hmm.
the
Say,
level of
say
the,
that.
yes, he brought down the level of respect that we had left for our people. He brought it all the way down. And then you had the other color over there pushing him like he was the best thing since sliced bread. That's when
Slice
you
of
know what you say, what?
slice of moldy bread.
Moldy bread, decrepit. So, and then I go back to that, they don't really care about us. Like when MJ said, they don't really care about us.
Right.
She said they need people who are ready to control, who are ready to control.
Yeah. Yeah. A placeholder.
A placeholder, yeah. Somebody they can walk over and use and, yeah, a puppet.
Remember Stewart from Mad TV, and he was like, "Look what I can do! Look what I can do!" That's pretty much what he was. It's like, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah, yeah. Look what I can do. Okay, we're gonna use you. We're gonna go and get in there. And every time he got on stage, it was like, "Look what I can do."
Don't make me laugh, Chick. I'm sorry. Oh, that was hilarious. Yes,
He's
what's
in
his name?
control.
The one on Mad TV? Stewart.
Stewart.
He got on my
Mm-hmm.
nerves. I couldn't stand that character. Sir So Soup said, depend on Jesus, not politics. Amen. I hear you. But
Mm-hmm.
when you got, but like you said, when we step out the house, we got, and I go back to, and I say I gotta go back and look at that line. I go back to what Papa Pope. You know, I was on Scandal. I was one of the extras in Scandals, right? They called me back a couple of times. I was always working in the White House, or I was whatever, right? And she said she cooking. Kiki said she cooking. I was working on Scandal, right? I did not. I was an extra. You know, I was an extra on the show. I was in a. They kept calling me back. I was an extra on the show for like 6 times, and I had never watched Scandal. I'm very careful
Mm-hmm.
about what I watch. But when I saw um uh the man who played Papa Pope as her
Yeah.
father,
Yeah.
those episodes I watched, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I was also nursing at the time, so I was a nurse to a client I had, and so she used to watch it, and so I I would just I was just amazed by, first of all, his acting. That I just think that man was so fine. I'm sorry. I love my husband. That man was fine. It's fine. You know the one back in the day when he played the senator for
He was
Different World.
married with it. Yeah.
Yeah, he got married Whitney, so he was fine. Anyway, so when he played Papa Pope, he told Olivia's character, he said, we got to be better than they are. What he said, 100 times better, 1,000 times better than they are. When we walk outside, everywhere we go, everywhere we present ourselves, how we act, how we maintain ourselves, who we are, we have to always do it more than they do it.
Yeah.
And for them to put Herschel Walker out there like he was just no, sir. He was an organ grinders monkey that was grinding that Oregon up and down the highway, and it was just a disgrace to our race. Don't
Mm-hmm.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, earlier you brought up Dave Chappelle, and
He's
this is
fine,
this.
Kiki. He's fine. Yeah, he is fine. Papa Pope's still fine to me.
You brought up Dave Chappelle, and when I
Mhm.
think of Dave Chappelle, this particular subject comes to mind for me, and my thoughts on this are a little controversial,
Okay.
but I feel very strong about what I feel about
Right.
it. And I just want people to leave the arts alone. If there's a movie and it's going to have some offensiveness in it, let it rock. If
Yes.
there's a comedian that has some strong things to say, I don't care who they are and what they're saying, let it rock. Because if you
Yes.
become offended by it, you don't have to listen to it.
Right.
If you walk into the realm knowing that this is art and you may see something or hear something that might not be palatable to you, get over it.
Get
This is
over
the
it.
world. The whole point of us being individuals is that we have the ability to express ourselves according to how we want to. You can receive it or not receive it. Because somebody does something over here and I'm offended by it, I don't have to engage. That's none
Exactly.
of my business, actually, unless you're talking to
Exactly.
me. Just like people have the right to protest.
Right.
If if the Ku Klux Klan wants to walk down the middle of Broad Street and wave their flags, I'm not going downtown that day. Y'all have y'all
Exactly.
rap, y'all do what it is that y'all want to do. Feel good about yourselves while y'all in your space. I don't have
Right.
to participate in that. And I feel real strong about this when it comes to the art because what I see slowly happening is that you're bending, you're changing, you're augmenting what true art really is. So now you have people afraid to make a movie and put certain scenes in movies that reflect real life.
Right.
That scene that's going to offend people maybe needs to offend certain people. You need to feel bent in your spirit and in your soul because you need to be moved for change.
Agitated for change. Yes.
Yes. Have you
Provoke.
did you see Passion of the Christ? Did you ever
My
see that
favorite
movie?
movie. My favorite movie.
Okay. So the torture part. I've only watched that movie once because I couldn't tolerate the torture part. And so it made me uncomfortable. It made me squirm in my chair. I actually thought about getting up a couple times because it was
Hmm.
hard. But the movie would have been totally different if they would have protested about that torture and said that they wanted it removed from the movie or they weren't going to put that movie in theaters.
Right.
It would have changed the whole scope of things. You
Right.
need to know what Jesus went through. You
That's
needed
right.
to what Jesus went through.
That's
Because
right. Amen.
the lesson is Jesus went through what he went through for your sins.
Yes.
So if you can relate to that, that brings about something different in you. If you can relate to that and absorb what you see and what you hear.
Exactly.
This is why I fight so hard for the arts because I don't think that they should be touched. They should not be augmented, and you shouldn't
No, they
censor
shouldn't.
people when they
Yes.
have something to say in the name of art.
Right. I
I'm
agree. I
gonna
totally agree.
say what I
I
said.
totally agree. I totally agree. I'm gonna go back to the Passion of Christ. That movie for me, that movie. So I have five favorite movies. My five favorite movies of all time. That one is my top favorite. And I wouldn't even because I didn't even when I looked at him as Jesus, I didn't even see the man's color. Like I saw
Mhm.
just the spirit.
Yes.
And I'm that part. And like you said, it was all those things were uncomfortable. It was watching that movie in a theater, being in that movie, experiencing those moments
Mm-hmm.
when the blood, when after they whipped him and the blood was on the ground, and when when Mary, the mother, and then the other Mary, they took the towels and they wiped the blood, his blood off of the ground. And I was in the theater. I had an experience that I had never experienced in a movie the way I experienced. I felt like my I gasped and I felt like my spirit went out of my body and I was trying to leap into the scene.
Mm.
And I wanted to grab the towel and just throw my body over it and just wipe the blood off and wipe it on the towel and just cry in the towel. Like it was so impactful, that scene. And just the whole crucifixion, all of it. And I needed to absorb that. I needed to see that. I needed it. It did something. It shat. I actually, so I was single at the time, and I had there was several different guys that was vying for my attention, and I was trying to figure out which one I was going to go with. I was at that time I had wanted to start back dating, and but when the movie came out, I went to the movie, and the guy he called me, he was like, so So after the movie, he was like, "Hey, so what you doing? You want to go out?" I did not want to talk to him. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I took off work 7 days after that movie.
Wow.
I took off work 7 days, and I just immersed myself. Those scenes were so vivid in my mind, and it just, yeah,
Ceaseless.
yeah, yeah. So I understand it's impactful to who the arts need to be impactful to who it's going to be impactful with. And if Jesus is not your thing, so be it. Then don't watch it. You know, I'm like you. If somebody's doing something offensive, the arts need to be the arts, regardless. We need to have freedom of speech and be able to be free at whatever we talk about. However you relay and do your arts, be free at it. Go for it. I mean, like I said, I'm not a Cardi B fan. I mean, I respect Cardi B as a woman, as a person. Like I said earlier before, I respect her at wanting to be a mother to her children. I like those elements about her. But am I going to listen to her music? For me, no. Especially at my age, hell no. I don't subscribe to that. Even if I was single, like for me, I wouldn't listen to that. But there's a lot of girls that listen to it. Okay, it is what it is. That's fine. Y'all roll. You want to listen to Cardi's, you want to listen to Megan's, and you want to listen to Nicki Minaj's. I roll with it and do what you do because that's you. You know, they're artistic in their lane. They stay in their lane. The people do what they do, and people enjoy it. You go it. I don't have to listen to them. I don't have to know their songs. I can turn it off in a minute. I don't have to watch a movie that I don't have to go to a comedy show if I know there's going to be excessive. If Richard Pryor was alive now, and Richard is one of the greatest all-time comedians, hands down, Richard Pryor. But now, my age, where I'm at in my life, if Richard Pryor was performing right now, much as I love him as a child, my dad used to listen to him and stuff, I wouldn't listen to him right now. But it's okay, Richard, talk your talk. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Any celebrity, any comedian, do what you do, talk your talk, and be free about it in the arts. And I think it's a crying shame that they want to restrict our freedom of speech in so many different areas, and this whole cancel culture, like, you know, like people have this thing about this whole Lizzo thing. I don't know Lizzo. She's a beautiful girl. I don't know Lizzo, but you know, there's some things that she may do that, you know, yeah. So but she's doing what she does, and there's people that like it. So, okay, do you, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to stop. First of all, I can't stop nobody's bad, but I'm not going to stop. And I can't stop anybody from doing them and being them, and can't nobody stop me and from being me and doing me.
And I think art is
Hey, my cousin Antoine in the building, the Bay Area in the building. You gotta have him on too, Chike. He's awesome, amazing as well.
what's his name?
His name is Dashways 100. That's my cousin Antoine. Love him. Yes, that's my cousin. Love him.
So I think that art is subjective to the absorber, whoever is absorbing it. You know, 10 people can look at the same painting and come back with different motions.
Right.
10 different people.
Right.
So I've heard Lizzo songs. Yes, I might bop to a beat when I hear a song, but I'm not necessarily interested in seeing Lizzo. And it's not,
right.
It has nothing to do with her weight. It has nothing to do with, sometimes I don't like all that gyration and shaking and jiggling. I'm not into that all the time.
Right.
I like mystery. I like to see a woman be a woman in a lady sense.
Nice.
I like, you know,
yes, I feel you.
I like to compartmentalize things. If I want to see that, then I'll watch P-Valley. You know, I'm getting a little something else with the jiggling and the dropping and the twerking, and I'm getting a little something else. You know, I like to compartmentalize things. But can I listen to a Lizzo song and take it in and absorb it? Yeah, she makes good music. I think she's really talented. I like the fact that she is a woman of a larger size and she's so athletic with it. Mm-hmm. One of the best things that I remember that I can recall is that time that Monique and her big girl posse got out there and they did their Beyonce routine and killed it.
I love Monique. Hate it.
So I say all that to say, and I'm gonna bring this analogy in, or this mock situation to show in my mind how ridiculous this is. Have you seen Jaws? Have you ever seen the movie Jaws?
I've seen the first one.
That's all you need. That's what I'm talking about. The first one.
When
Can
I
you
was little.
imagine if the animal rights people were picketing outside the movie theater for
Oh my God.
Jaws, talking about cruelty to animals? That's how ridiculous it is to me. You have to
Yes,
let the art. It's
yes,
art.
yes. I agree. Because there would be no jobs. If the animal people were out there picking, there would be no jobs.
And
And we need jobs.
if we go through picking and ciphering out every little thing, then one could say, well, sharks live in the ocean. Why were the humans in the ocean? That's not where they dwell. That's not where they live. Why did they get in the water so the shark can eat them? What about human rights?
Right,
The water. If you don't want to die, then don't get in it. That's where that
right,
shark is. That's his house. I'm just saying. That's how
right.
ridiculous it is to me. So if a comedian gets on stage and they're making a joke and you know that you came to see a comedy show,
So,
doesn't necessarily mean that they're in there spewing hate.
right.
It
They
doesn't
just
mean
delivering, they just delivering life how they see it.
right, right.
Um,
You're watering down things to the point where they become non-existent and it just becomes white noise.
right,
I
exactly,
can't
white
have that.
noise.
I can't
And
have that.
my cousin Dashways 100, he said, then they push lifestyles on you. Um, they push lifestyles on you you may not want to deal with personally. He was talking about in response to Lil, we saying people try to I think what he was saying, that when they try to control,
Mm.
they try to
Mm-hmm.
control what we think. She
Yes.
Yeah, and then my cousin, he said, also that's what 100 said, do you say that they are fine when you know that they are making themselves sick, big people? What does he say? They are fine when they know they're making themselves sick, big people. If she said if they like it, my cousin Kiki said, if they like it, I love it. It's a lot of ailment with business. Do you say they're dying when they're knowing that they're sick? They're fine when they're sick. She makes awesome music. Yeah, don't know exactly what he's saying, but they push lifestyles on you you may not want to deal with personally.
Listen, numbers talk, right? People put their art out there to that's their livelihood. They want to make a living, right?
Right,
If I constantly put out a certain type of art and I'm not getting any hits off of it, no one's picking it up, right? That
right.
means you might need to try something different. It's not
Preach it.
working.
It's
To
not
go to
working.
another avenue. Let me not do that. And that's just the way it needs to be across the board. If I want to get out here and I'm like 7,000 pounds and I want to shake, 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 there are some people that are into that. There's some people that want to see
They
that.
want to
If
see
I
that,
don't
right?
want to see that and you don't want to see that, you don't have to watch it. Go to the next theater. Don't buy
Right.
the
Exactly.
don't see the movie.
Right. That's
If
where I'm
there's a
at. If you don't
comedian,
want to see it, don't see it. You don't want to subscribe to it. You don't want to see it. Don't see it.
but
I'm
stop
not going to rain on
persecuting the
somebody
artist.
else, and I'm not going to rain on somebody else's parade. And I'm not going to judge them for seeing for that. But now,
Yeah.
when it comes to little kids, though, when it comes to kids, I think that there's a lot of things where kids need to be monitored with certain things they watch. You know, I know they sneak and they do whatever, but there's certain things like in the home that's different when you have kids and you raising them because you want them to feed off the best images and not those horrible, nasty images.
So one of the reasons why I am a movie reviewer now is
Mm-hmm.
because my parents gave me the freedom. Uh, I think that first Jaws was my
Yes.
second movie that I've ever saw. It was the second movie I ever saw. My first movie was Shaft. If you ever seen the first Shaft, that was not appropriate for a child.
No, not at all.
But my parents took me to the movie theater because it was a date for them. It
Right.
was a date for them, but they took me to the movie theater. And from that point on, anytime there was a film that I wanted to see, I was allowed to watch it. But I was able to watch it with guidance in my ear. If I
Good.
had any questions, it was an open forum. If I had any questions, I
Yes.
would get feedback as to, I'm talking sex scenes, I'm talking
Yes.
murder scenes. I was watching rated R movies at a very young age. I'm I like to think I'm a well-adjusted human being. It
Yes.
didn't affect me. It didn't affect
But
me.
you had your father and your mother there to help
Yes,
guide you and to
yes.
talk with. That's different. That is
But
so different.
what I'm saying is, if you feel some type of way about the art that's being created and you're worried about your child and what they're going to absorb, Be a parent. Be a
Yes.
parent. Whether it's just a mother, whether it's just a father, whether it's a grandmom, be a parent. Be there.
Yes.
But I don't think that artists should have to suffer for the sake of everyone else's sensibilities. If you have
Right.
sensibilities, go somewhere else. Don't look.
Right.
Don't buy. Don't watch. I'm just fighting for the arts right now. I'm
I
very
agree.
passionate.
Yeah, I agree because once you shut down freedom of speech and arts, it's a wrap. Because what else is there? What else
You,
is there?
you know what happens to me?
What?
I remember a couple instances um, where things were taboo. They were put on censorship. Oh, you can't watch. Oh,
Hmm.
it's only going to be in select theaters. Oh, that made me. Let me get my pennies together. Let me go to the movie. What you said is bad and I can't see it. Oh, I got to see that. That's me. One of the reasons that I fell in love with Madonna, not so much
Uh-huh.
now, so much, but earlier on,
Early
is
on,
because
yes.
she kept pushing the envelope and she kept,
Yeah,
I'm going to do what I want and I dare you to try to stop me. I have a
yeah.
message, something that I'm trying to say. And if you try to stop me, it's going to be trouble.
It's gonna
And
be
that's one of the
trouble.
things I loved about her because she kept pushing the envelope.
That's what I loved about I loved about her then, and then I loved about the basketball player that she dated. Oh,
Dennis
Dennis
Rodman.
Rodman.
Mm.
Dennis Rodman. I was living in Chicago at the time when they had the three-peat, when they were just the Bulls was winning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when the Bulls used to win back then in Chicago, like you could literally hear the whole city. Hey, Henrique Soares and Canama Chick. Hi, sweetie. How are you? um, you can literally hear the whole city. Woo, woo, woo. I mean, you can hear the wind blowing. Everybody would be cheering through the whole city, right? When the Bulls win. Out of all of the players, like I met Scottie Pippen in person too when I was a young girl at the Bud Billiken parade in high school. He was the tallest giant on the face of the earth. And then later on I met Shaq. But anyway, so you can hear those woo, 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 woo. Dennis Rodman, when I used to see Dennis Rodman come on that court, oh my gosh, he was like everything. His hair, his earrings, he was just like everything to me. Like, man, Dennis Rodman was so like bomb just because to me, like he was fierce and he was fly and Dennis Rodman was gonna give you Dennis Rodman no matter what. He did
And
not care.
he found a lane because he wasn't the greatest basketball player. He was good, but he wasn't the greatest. But one of the things that he learned was he learned how to market himself in a way where he got the attention. And you know who taught him how to do that? Madonna taught him how to
Madonna.
do that.
Madonna. Dennis who wanted to be Dennis was who he wanted to be. Robert said that Madonna's first marriage was with Sean Penn. Yes, you're right, Robert. And
And
Dashley, my cousin,
she was too much for him.
she was too much. She was too much for Dennis. My cousin Antoine said Dennis was who he wanted to be. That's right, he was. I love that fierceness about him. He didn't play.
But he went from being a nobody to being everything.
And right. And he was everything to us. You have to imagine, I'm freshman, 10th grade in high school, and like the Bulls were everything. Michael Jordan, all of it. But out of Scotty, Michael, and the other, remember Van Beer, and all the other people that played on the other teams, and even what's his face on the other teams, like to me, it was Dennis Rodman. That was and even Isaiah Thomas. Like Dennis Rodman was it for me. I got love with Dennis Rodman. And I remember years later, I would pray for him. Oh, I used to pray for that young man. Well, actually,
Remember,
he's
since
older.
we're talking sports, and you go back to because I'm a track and field dude. That was my sport.
Track and field.
And you get someone like FloJo, who brought
Yes,
style to track and
yes,
field. Talked
yes.
about her because she had the nails. They talked about her because of her outfits. You
Her
know, it
outfits,
was too
right?
distracting. You know, what is she going to wear today? She got out there, she killed it, and then she
Killed it.
also gave you fashion.
Yes, she
Now,
served.
today, some of that stuff, they find a way to chip at you
Yeah.
and try to bring you down. You will not be too loud. You will not be too bright. What's the young lady?
That's what I was
The
gonna say.
track
The
runner.
little track. They always try to find. We have to always be. better. And they always seem to try to find a way to bring us down. They don't like to see us shine.
How I see it, in the summertime when the lightning bugs come out and they're flying
Hmm.
around, this is what they do.
Yeah, take the light out. Try
Yep.
to take the Shakari Richardson. That's what my cousin said.
Yes, that's what I
Shakari
mean. Thank
Richardson.
you. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, cousin. Yeah.
So, I mean, and to me, that all ties into the arts because that's creativity. You
Yes.
know, even in sports, those people that play sports, they're artists because they
Yes.
find a way to do what it is that they do, and they do it with such finesse and
Grace.
grace. And
Finesse.
and
Yes.
if
Finesse.
you've ever seen Michael Jordan do a dunk,
Dunk
right?
or layup.
They do it
Yes.
in slow motion. It looks like he's dancing in the
Yes.
air.
Yes. Exactly. And even on the football field, Ronnie Lott. I had the opportunity to meet Ronnie Lott when I was in high school, and so I went to high school in Chicago and in
Hmm.
San Francisco. So my first 2 years was Chicago, my second 2 years was in San Francisco. Ronnie Lott and that whole team, even that was a team of winners, 49ers back then, and even how they run across. And even how their tippy toes, like they were running like ballerinas. So then when I found out later that a lot of football players take ballet, that made a lot of sense to me. When you watch them when they run like deer, hind feet. They run like gazelles. You know,
Hmm.
big, big. It's an art. Hey, Rain on the charts. What's up, girl? We miss you. That's my girl. She's awesome. Thank you for coming in, boo. But yeah, so yeah, playing sports is an actual. It's artistry within the artistry being exuding out through the different movements, just like gymnastics.
Yeah.
Track and
Yeah.
field, like you said, it's such an art form. Just watching them run. Well, I love track. I used to run track and field too. And even when you're shot putting and all of that, it's and like you said, basketball is just amazing to watch. Athleticism, the artistry, the DNA flow in the sports realm, and it
Hmm.
just seems like there's always a way. They try to find something to denigrate,
What's the saying?
especially
Just shut up and play ball, or just shut up and run. Why?
right,
Why do I need to shut up?
right.
For your agenda? I'm just here for your agenda.
And every sports these days is shut up and dribble or you'll be publicly lynched. That's
How
what you
about
just said. That's what you just said. That's my cousin said.
and canceling is the new lynching.
It is. Counseling is a new lynching. And
And
I
I think,
and and these blogs, some of these blogs, I'll say not all of them, but some of these blogs, they are a tool in the cancellation.
hmm
They're one
hmm
of the elements. Yeah.
and see, and
Like you
and
said,
that
like I
that's
said,
one of the things that I won't play into. I can't be a part of that because
me either.
um it just adds fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? I
Right.
don't ever want to be a part. And I know we talked about some people this evening that are on fast track to being canceled. I'm not saying what I'm saying to cancel the person. What I'm
Right.
saying is uh, a feeling or an emotion about what we're witnessing of this person. Maybe the person needs help.
Right.
Maybe people are supporting this person and they're misguided. So you're adding fuel to the fire the other way. I'm
Right.
not saying that I want Herschel Walker canceled. I'm not saying that I want Kanye canceled. But
Right. We're not even saying that. We're not even
what needs to be paid attention to is that you can't be of a certain color in this country, matter of fact, in this world, and do certain things. You just can't.
right.
And you need to be mindful. And I'm not telling you to sequester. I'm not telling you to stifle. I'm not telling you to retract. But just be mindful.
Be mindful.
Be mindful.
Be mindful. And I just want to say this publicly. If you're an American, and you are from America, do not go overseas and do things that we do, that some people do here in America, that you go into a whole nother country, you disrespect their laws, you disrespect their ways, and think that you're okay. Don't do that.
Listen, listen. When I started traveling internationally, so there is a, a map pretty much of the world.
Hmm.
And I don't even know what it's called, but I remember seeing it. I used to have one in my possession for a while. I don't know what happened to it, but it pretty much tells you how you're going to be received in certain countries just by the color of your skin, and
Mm.
how and the temperature in those countries related to you being a person of color and American in that country.
Wow.
Some
Really?
are very aggressive. Some are very aggressive. Some are very passive. Some are very welcoming, and some you just don't go to at all. Like you shouldn't even put an X over it. I'm not going there.
Right.
Always had a keen awareness that I am not going to break any laws in any foreign countries. Because first of all, sometimes it's hard enough to get bail here in America. Do
Oh,
you really think somebody wants to get bail for me in another country?
hey, Nikki. Hey, Rain on the charts again. She said, Rain on the chart said, you have to know where you're going before you go, even right here. Mm.
Research. But even if you know where you're going, have a keen understanding of yourself and that you're not going to do anything out of line.
Right. And don't go over other people's house, over other people's houses disrespecting. I would not go over to my neighbor's house, take off my shoes, walk in their house, pull out, go into their refrigerator. I don't live there. You need to respect and have some manners. When people go over there and think that they could just do whatever, don't do that. You are ignorant. And I said it.
As my friends say, this ain't that.
This ain't that, right? I like that. This ain't that. Yes. Well, enjoyed our conversation.
So am I. But I knew it was going to be awesome because you're awesome.
You're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So
Yeah.
we've been talking for a while now. I'm going to let you go, but I want you to
Okay.
shout out some people first, and
You want me
after
to
you
shout?
shout out the people, after you shout out the people you're going to shout out, I want you to tell people where they can follow you, find you, and subscribe to
All
your
right.
stuff.
Okay, great. So I want to give a shout out to the time capsules for the culture. Hey, what's up? What's good? I love you all. I want to give a shout out to woohoo. I want to give a shout out to Rain on the charts. I want to give a shout out to Nikki. I want to give a shout out to Slipknot, even though he left out. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Dashway 101 in the building from the Bay, baby. We want to give a shout out to Robert Bolden. Thank you for coming in. Count him a cheek. I'm shouting out everybody that's in the live. I want to shout out to all my family. I'll shout out to all everybody that's going to watch the playback. Shout out to all my loved ones. Shout out to my students. Shout out to my friends, my families. Shout out to the lovely Kiki Green, host of Talking Sheep. Cheap. Shout out to Kay Renee, aka Keisha. Shout out to everybody that came up in the building to listen. Want you to know you are loved. If you didn't know today, you are loved. God is with you. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching. Give a shout out to Conversation with Chike Green and say blessings to everybody. You can find me on TikTok. I go over there and I hang out a lot. I have a lot of followers over there. We have fun over there. And thanks to Kiki, she told me, convinced me to go to TikTok. I'm also on YouTube, Television. I am working on, well, I finished my Chronicles, Side Chick Chronicles series. I think you will like it. And also, who else should I shout out? Oh, Lovely Tonic from out there in UK. Love you so much, girl.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you've been watching this or you're going to watch this and you enjoyed this conversation and you thought it was fun or enlightening or whatever, please check out the time capsules where we all get together and
Yes.
have a big conversation. It's like, how many of us is like six? Six of
It's
us?
six
How
of
many?
us.
Yeah.
Yes, six of us. Pepe La View, Pepe La View, Kareem. I want to shout out, give a shout out to Kareem. I want to give a shout out to Shannon, Deezy. What's up? We love you, boo. Anointed Visit. She's watching it right now. She just came up in here, girl. I was just shouting you out. Anyways, time capsule for the culture.
So if you like, what the vibe is, you'll really, really like Time Capsule for the Culture
Yes, you
because
will.
both different personalities kind of going toward the same goal, but it's really
Yes,
good.
yes.
Sis, I love and appreciate you. Thank you for your time and your energy. You
You're
have blessed
welcome.
the platform, and
Awesome.
I wish nothing but greatness and success for you in the future. You
Thank
are
you.
the
Like that, brother.
bomb.
Thank you, bro. As you are. Love you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All
Have a
right.
good night. And happy holidays to everybody. And
Yes,
be
happy
safe.
holiday.
And hug up on your loved ones. Tell them that you love them. See ya.
See you. Bye.